Hello, and welcome once again to the Dental Marketing Mastery Series. This podcast is brought to you by dentalwebcontent.com and New Patients Incorporated. I'm Howie Horrocks, the founder of New Patients Incorporated. Along with me once again is my friend and partner and the president of New Patients Incorporated, Mark Dilatush.
Welcome, everybody. This is Mark Dilatush. This is Howie's not here. He's golfing or cleaning dirt off of his porch or something. He lives in Las Vegas, so he may be shading himself or drinking water or looking out into the sky wondering why no birds exist in Las Vegas. But we are here. We have a special guest. Lee Buzard is senior advisor here at New Patients Inc. Lee, say hello.
Hello. How is everything? How are you, Mark?
I'm doing fine, sir.
I want to know what the deal is with the lack of love for people that live in the desert. I mean,
I know. I make fun of you too. So, Howie and I do these podcasts weekly, and we talk about, many of the lessons we've learned over the years to try and help dentists be more effective in their own marketing, or even our own clients understand the science and the research and the statistics behind the work we do for them. And maybe even spawn some ideas and some actions on the part of the audience where they can go out and introduce the wonderful benefits of today's dentistry to the people surrounding their practice. And who knows, maybe even save a life or turn somebody's confidence around. So that's what Howie and I do. And I was thinking about it, and I thought to myself, we've never done a podcast on being an advisor, not necessarily being an advisor, but the thoughts and the workflow and the prerequisites that an NPI advisor has to go through before they can settle in on a marketing plan for someone. Because wouldn't it be cool if we could make, the hundreds and hundreds of people who are connected to this this podcast, actually thousands now, listen to this podcast. Wouldn't it be cool if we could make them mini advisors, right? Where they go through the same mental analysis, the same asset liability list, and the same prioritization of their marketing budget that our advisory team does. And without, I don't want to understate the obvious, but an NPI advisor, where there's 4 of them, 5 of them actually on staff here at New Patients Inc. They're responsible for analyzing a market area and analyzing a dental practice, and then building a marketing plan, which is within the doctor's budget and within the range of expectation that the doctor, that we have communicated to the doctor. In other words, we believe this is going to generate X. So that's the advisor's role. And then once the plan is agreed upon, then it goes to our production and our campaign managers to actually deploy. So, gee, Lee, I mean, you get all kinds of dentists who complete their online survey on our website and ask you for all kinds of things. What are some of the biggest misconceptions that dentists have when they engage an advisor like you?
I think one of the biggest would be, if I just throw enough money at this, it's going to solve all my problems. I throw enough money and spaghetti against the wall, it's just going to work. And that's a discussion that I have so many times about Doc, what is your goal? What are you looking for? What type of patient are you looking for? Are you looking for that long-term patient? Are you looking for just butts in the seat? What are you looking for? And so many times docs come to me and they say, hey, Lee, I've spent X amount of dollars for the last year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever the period of time is, and I keep throwing just money here, there, and everywhere. And it's just the lack of a plan. And so, they come to me saying, help me. What do I do?
Yeah. So so really the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just some kind of an organizational or some kind of structure, right? Okay. So when they come to you and they say, I'd like to have you build me a marketing plan, what are some of the things you look at as far as assets and liabilities?
Sure. So assets, I look to see how many operatories they have. I look to see what's on their team, how many hygienists. A big asset, availability. What times of the day are they there? What days are they there? What days are they not there? I look at their internet strategy. Is it a great website? Is it a fully responsive website, meaning it can be seen on any size device from a smartphone to a tablet to a laptop to a desktop? What is available to them? Do they have Google reviews? What marketing have they done in the past? How has that positioned them in the community's thoughts of what type of dentist they may be? So there's so much. Revenues, definite practice revenues. That's something we look at as well.
Yeah. You have to multiply a percentage times something, right? To come up with a budget, right?
Absolutely. And that's where we really set ourselves apart as a full service marketing firm, for the world of dentistry. NPI, we do it all. It's all under one roof. And it's nice for a client to be able to just to reach out to one person or one team and say, what's next? How do I handle this issue? And so when we're looking at somebody initially and we're looking at revenues, we try to guide them. We always say rule of thumb is about 5% of gross production for the year. Now, that's just a rule of thumb. If you're in Manhattan, guess what?
Oh my God.
You're gonna spend more than 5%. You're gonna spend 17, 18. You're because of the population to dentist ratio. What does that mean? How many people are per each provider? And so if you're in New York, you could be 17, 20% of gross revenue spending on marketing to equal somebody that, maybe is in Montana that instead of having a 1 to 400 population to dentist ratio, he's got a 1 to 4,000. Is 5% going to be enough for him? Oh, you bet it is.
Right.
He's going to dominate the area. So we have to calculate all this. We don't, at New Patient Safe, we do not just pull a box off the shelf. It's not like Progressive. You grab a box here, grab a box there. What marketing plan would you like? Every marketing plan is custom to each practice's revenues, goals, needs. I always tell docs when I talk to them on the phone, I say the marketing plan that we are going to develop for you is like the treatment plan that you develop for your patients. We're going to look at the entire situation. We're going to look at the entire environment. We're going to look at the entire mouth. And we're going to say, okay, doc, this is what we need to address immediately. Because a lot of times when somebody comes into a doctor's office, a dental office, they say, I've got this toothache. This is what's going on. Well, sure, the dentist is going to look at that, but they're going to look at the full survey. They're going to look at the full mouth. And so we do the exact same thing and put it in priority order.
So basically, yeah, I remember when I was doing, when I was building marketing plans, I remember, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 out of 10. We ended up actually doing less than, the full mouth, right? Less than optimum.
Well, and
which is fine. I mean, there's nothing.
And I tell docs all the time. I had a conversation with somebody, ironically, yesterday. He shot me an email, and the time worked out, and we just jumped on the phone. And I said, "Hey, I understand that we need to do all these things." And he was concerned about budgets, and it's like, well, how do you deal with it in your office? Let's do one arch at a time or one quadrant at a time, but we have to put these in priority of need. What needs to be done first?
And their expectation, if you're going to cut down, it's just like a dental patient. If you're going to do a quad at a time, you're not going to get a full mouth result if you did one quad.
Exactly.
Right. So, as long as the doctor's expectations are down where they need to be, then almost any budget, you can get started with almost anything. Really.
Absolutely.
I mean, we can just start with referral brochures, right? And just start the internal referral process, get that warmed up, get that generating something. So there's always something to do.
Right.
There's never nothing to do.
Absolutely. And, the conversation that I had with this dentist last night, one of the things that we talked about was integrity and brutal honesty. And, and I asked him some hard questions, and then he turned and asked me even harder ones. Right. And I love it when docs ask me those hard questions. I love it. What can I expect from NPI? What can I expect from you? What can I expect from my advisor? What can I expect from all of these people? And it's comforting to be able to say, here at NPI, we are going to be so brutally honest that sometimes when we give you the answer, we're going to pull the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
And it may sting for a second.
It happens a lot.
It does because you have to have these real conversations. You have these real expectations. And, they say, I've got this much money and I want to throw this at it, and I want this many new patients. And it's like, okay, doc, that's fantastic. I would love for you to get that many new patients, but we've been doing this for 28 years. I've personally been doing advertising and marketing for a long time myself, and this is something that the reality is, we look at the population to dentist ratios, we look at the hours, we look at your products and services and what you have to offer. Here's the number that we hope, that we anticipate that you get.
Right.
And we always roll that number down a little lower than we anticipate. Yep. Because I would rather come in the hero, right? And so we always roll that back a little bit.
It's the same thing dentists do when the lady comes in and says, I want my teeth toilet bowl white.
Well, right. Everyone should have BL1. Right?
I know. It's the same thing. It's the same thing dentists do when they have a particularly, picky patient in front of them.
Right.
Yeah, I think, and then, there's a lot of lessons here doing that. And I'm glad we did this podcast. I'm glad we're doing it because there's lots of hidden lessons here. It's never about one thing. No. I think that's one enormous lesson that dentistry is learning now. It used to be in the old days, 10, 15 years ago, you could just do one thing. You could just do yellow pages, or you could just do a mail campaign. You didn't even need a website. Or, you could just do one thing and you'd be okay for 4, 5, 6 years, And now it's no longer, unless you're in Montana, that market, that unicorn market that you were referencing before, the 1 to 4,000.
Right.
For the rest of dental America, it's no longer one thing.
No.
You have to do it all right. And this is why, and where the quadrant or arch dentistry eventually leads itself to a nice, strong, cohesive, predictable machine, basically, that just chunks out phone calls or online appointments, and they just come in, and it's something that they no longer really have to worry about, rather than the marketing company du jour that almost every dentist goes through at least once a year. You know, who am I going to choose to do my marketing this year?
Yeah.
I'm going to choose to do my marketing next year.
Let me jump in on this if I could, Mark, because
sure.
because it brings up a conversation about level of integrity. Okay, and all the advisors at NPI, this is the level that they live in. Okay, and I've had people come to me and say, I want to do television. I want to do radio. Okay?
They're amazed when we say no, aren't they?
They are. And unfortunately, there's so many marketing firms out there.
I know.
Dental marketing firms that it's all about the sale. It's the sales guy, he wants to make the commission. He's trying for a goal.
Right.
Sure, doc, we'll get you a TV spot. We'll get you a radio spot. Let's make it happen. Sign here. God bless America. The problem with that is they don't have the integrity, and where NPI does that when I have those conversations, I say, okay, wait, let's take a deep breath. You want radio? That's fantastic.
Pull the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, here comes the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that we have everything in place. And they go, well, what do you mean? I said, well, doc, if you're going to place a bridge, okay, and it's not an all porcelain bridge, but let's say it's got a metal substrate, right? And you've prepped both teeth, and you got your hole that you're going to fill with your Pontic, and you have to have that metal base to it, right? Before porcelain can be stacked on. Does that make sense? And they go, well, absolutely. And it's like, okay, let's go to your website because we got to look at your base. Okay. Let's see if you're prepped out. Let's see if your margins are wide open. Okay. Yep. And then we go to the website, and the website's a train wreck. Okay. And sometimes and maybe it's perfect, but a lot of times it's not, unfortunately. So it's a train wreck. Or I come to find out that they shut down at noon on Thursday. They're not there on Friday. And what? Somebody's covered my phone from Thursday afternoon till Monday morning. Why would I do that? Okay, well, doc, you want to spend $10,000, $20,000 a month in TV, but you're not going to answer the phone?
Right.
Right. So that's where NPI says, wait. We look at each and every practice as if we owned it. If we were sitting on your side of the desk, signing paycheck, paying for the lease, paying for the dental supplies, we look at each and every practice like we have an invested part of it. Because guess what? We may not be on your payroll, but we're on your team, and it is our job to make sure that our team does the best thing that we can for that practice. And sometimes we have to pull that Band-Aid and say, doc, you can't do this yet.
Yeah, sometimes it's not really popular.
No, it's not. And so then what happens? They disappear. And then I get a phone call or I get a Facebook message or somewhere else.
2 years later, right here they come.
Yeah, my phone lights up and says, hey, do you remember me? You told me that I can't send, a mailer to everybody in the zip code because I'm wasting half of my marketing dollars. Right. Because I'm sending a message that's going to alienate one half of the market. Or do you remember me? I want to do that radio spot in my local area, and you told me my website was horrible and I shouldn't do this. I get these "do you remember me" calls. Right. And guess what? Those clients, they remembered my integrity. They remembered NPI's integrity, saying, no, yes, we would love to have you as a client, but no, we're not going to do this because we know it's not going to be successful. What do they become? They can become our cheerleaders.
Yeah, later on down the road, they do. And Lee, you and I, we're going to have to do another one of these at some point because we're running out of time. Because there's so much more the audience can learn from someone who does nothing but deal with the audience, right?
Right.
And it can help. It can absolutely help everyone listening to this be an informed dental marketing consumer. That's what we want. That's why we wrote the book. That's why we put the marketable attributes scorecard. That's why they're free downloads. That's why there's 7 hours of online education. That's why all that stuff is free. Become an educated dental marketing consumer, whether you're a do-it-yourself. I know lots of doctors who really get into the nuts and bolts of dental marketing, tracking, analyzing the numbers, and making a tweak, and watching the difference, whether it goes up or down. To them, they're still happy. They just want to see the difference at whatever change they made. Mm-hmm. There's lots of people like that. They definitely need to be educated. And even the ones who might be just entering the dental marketing space might be a little fearful of the 9,475 people who call themselves dental marketing companies, right? Yeah. So, this is good. And Lee, I really do. I thank you very much for your time today. If anybody would like to reach out to Lee to discuss their practice, it's Lee, Lee, at newpatientsinc.com. Lee, what's your direct line? 702-799-9016. And like Mark said, I mean, I'm happy to talk to anybody. Let's kick the tires. Just sit back, have an iced tea, and talk about this stuff. It's getting the conversation started is one of the most important things. You got to take that first step. Yep. All right. Thank you very much, Lee. And to the audience, we will see you for the next podcast. Bye-bye.
Take care.
We hope you've enjoyed our podcast today. You can find more podcasts on our YouTube channel, on Stitcher, and iTunes. Also on our websites, dentalwebcontent.com and newpatientsinc.com.